Why do I feel like I'm forgetting something? A video! Hello everybody, and welcome back to Dice and Curtains. Last time we talked about storytelling and how both Dungeons & Dragons and theater tell stories and how they're similar. We're going to get into that a little deeper on this episode of Playwrights and Directions. Let's start with the first job of theater, the playwright. Many people would recognize the playwright as the person who writes the play. And that's exactly it. The playwright is the person responsible for writing the dramatic material that is to be performed in a theater setting. They take an original idea or concept, and by using dramatic devices, they create a dialogue that turns that idea into a complete story. Now, how does that fit into D&D? Well, we can see the role of the playwright in both the Dungeon Master and the players. The DM is the person that is creating the world and the basic premise of the story. They come up with concepts and ideas that may, or may not, get carried through to completion during the session. The players are also creating the story, as their actions in both battles and role-playing push those concepts into completion and drive the story to the next concept, whether that be a main plot point or a side quest. Of course, there are things that don't go as planned, but we'll talk about that when we get to the actor episode. Now we've got the director. The job of the director is to, putting it simply, make decisions. While they do many things, it is their job to keep the quality and wholeness of the play, or by keeping the play feeling like one consistent piece. They make artistic decisions and work with the design team for the way that the show will look visually. The director also works with the actors, leading them to act in a way that fits the director's vision, while also giving them choices of how the actors will, act. So, directors, do you have a place in D&D? Of course you do. There are many choices that need to happen during the course of a game. Whether the DM has it planned or not, there are choices that need to be considered and at least try to be planned for. Does a player want to copy an important map? Well, what kind of ability check is that? The players want to try to beat a dragon even though they're only level 2? Well, they can certainly try. Although, planning can only go so far, since these choices will be determined by the way the dice rolls. However, the result of that dice roll is determined by the Dungeon Master. Finally, we have stage management. The stage manager is the key assistant to the director. However, they do oversee other aspects of a show, such as props, costumes, etc. Stage management will also run scheduling, rehearsals, will coordinate paperwork for the crew, and will be calling cues during the show. In theater, this is where I have had the most experience, having stage managed 3 shows. It's mostly paperwork and prop and cast wrangling, but when I have been dungeon mastering, I feel like this is the role that has influenced me the most. Stage managers, you have a big role to play here. I feel like stage management really fits in the dungeon mastering section. To my DMs that are also SMs, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Keeping everything on track and keeping everything on time. Again, it's mostly wrangling the players to go and do what you want them to do, but sort of making it think it's their idea. That's all I have for you today, my theater peeps and D&D geeks. We learned a lot about how playwrights, directors, and stage managers of the world fit into D&D. Next time, we'll be talking about the designers. But until then, goodbye and happy Halloween.